Stan Drunkenmiller, he's like a really big deal hedge fund guy, okay? Runs billions and billions of dollars. And he was asked, like, hey, who's going to win the election? Because, by the way, investors are always trying to figure out who's going to win the election. It has a very big impact on how they're allocating resources. And so Stan goes on to Bloomberg, my former employer, and he's asked, what do you think? And I think it's really interesting what he says. And he basically lets us know the market has already told us who's going to win. Let's listen.
Wondering what the Drunkenmiller playbook is around this election cycle and what you think the most likely scenario is and how you set up for it.
Well, it's an evolving situation. If you had asked me this 12 days ago, I would have said, I don't have a clue. It's a total toss-up. I still don't have conviction who's going to win on the election. But as I said earlier, I like market indicators for the economy and for financial restrictiveness. I also like them for elections. I remember how right the market was on Ronald Reagan in 1980, despite what the pundits were saying. And I must say, in the last 12 days, the market and the inside of the market is very convinced Trump is going to win. You can see it in the bank stocks, you can see it in crypto, you can even see it in DJT, his social media company. But throughout the whole, I would say the industries that are deregulated, if we had deregulations, will benefit from Trump or outperform the others. So if you put a gun to my head, and thank God there's not one to my head, so this really doesn't matter, I would say that I would have to guess Trump is the favorite to win the election now.
Well, he would be right, at least as far as investors are concerned, 61.3% in the prediction markets believing that Donald Trump is going to win this election. So I think that's pretty powerful. I think that's pretty amazing. Oh my gosh, poor Kamala Harris. She sunk herself even further. The Democrats, they just can't pick them. They can't pick them. They're trying to check off too many boxes. I think that's part of the problem. He mentioned what you're seeing in crypto. Crypto's been flying. I mean, I'm looking at Bitcoin. I actually was able to get in a little bit today because look at this. I mean, it's just been on a tear. And recently, guys, Bitcoin has just been up, and away. Now, it did suffer down, 1.5% or so today. So I was able to, not everybody's with me on this. I get it. Don, I know you don't like this. Some of our viewers here are not big fans, but I'm kind of I don't know, what would you say? Like a little bit of a techie in this stuff. I'm really interested in it. I've been following this stuff since it was $10. I should have bought it back when it was $10. Anyway, you can see it's been riding high. It did come down a little bit today, but this is kind of a play, if you would, on this idea that Donald Trump is going to win the election. And why would Bitcoin actually be up on that? Well, Bitcoin would be up because guess what? People actually are very, very encouraged by the support that he has shown for Bitcoin. I mean, that's been really interesting to see. He was at a Bitcoin bar the other day. Did you guys see that? He went to a Bitcoin bar and he actually was the first president to have a transaction for Bitcoin. So I think all of that is contributing to the upside you're seeing there. You're looking at the prediction markets, you're looking at companies that would be highly regulated if Kamala Harris were to be in there, and they're actually rallying in ways that one wouldn't have anticipated if in fact Kamala Harris was going to be there. So that's what Drunkenmiller means.